everyone, it's me, Mix-Lydia, and welcome to the Mix-o-Lydian! Today, I want to read you a story. This is called Grandma's Records, and it's about a boy who goes to spend the summer with his grandma, and they bond over music by listening to all of Grandma's old records. Who knows, what is a record? So before everything was digitized onto our computers, before computers even existed, before CDs and cassette tapes, there were vinyl records. And that's how a lot of our grandparents used to listen to music. So in this story, we see how the power and culture of music can be passed down from generation to generation. All right, here we go. Grandma's Records by Velasquez. Every year, right after the last day of school, I packed my suitcase with my cool summer clothes, my favorite toys, and my sketchbook. Then my dog Daisy and I were off to Grandma's apartment in El Barrio. Because my parents worked, Grandma's apartment was my summer home. From the time my parents dropped me off until the day they picked me up, Grandma wrapped me in her world of music. Sometimes when she played a record, we would dance together. Other times, she would dance alone and tell me stories about growing up in Puerto Rico. When Grandma played merengue from the Dominican Republic, her hips would sway from side to side. As her favorite salsa record played, she'd say, "Listen to that conga," while she played an imaginary drum. Grandma liked all types of music, but one record was very special to her. Whenever she played it, she would put her hand over her heart, close her eyes, and sing along. When it was over, Grandma would sometimes sit quietly, thinking about Grandpa and the old days in Santurce, her hometown. Sometimes, Grandma said, a song can say everything that is in your heart as if it was written just for you. My favorite days were the ones when Grandma would tell me, "You pick the records today." No matter what I would choose, Grandma would always say, "Siempre me gusta tu selección." I always like your selection. Sometimes I would sneak in Grandma's special song just to watch her put her hand over her heart and sing. Then she'd always ask, "¿Cómo tú sabes? How did you know?" If it was too hot to go outside, I'd spend hours looking through all of Grandma's album covers. I'd pick out my favorite and make sketches of the art. As I drew, I could see the records coming to life and the bands performing right there in Grandma's living room. Grandma never went to any nightclubs to see her favorite bands perform. She was happy to just stay at home with me and listen to her scratchy records. But Santurce was home to hundreds of musicians, and she knew a lot of the people who played on those records. Grandma's nephew, Sammy, played percussion in Rafael Cortijo's band, the best band in Puerto Rico. One day when the band was in town, Sammy brought over Cortijo and the band's lead singer, Ismael Rivera, for a surprise visit. Home-cooked meals were hard to come by on the road. They couldn't pass up the chance to taste Grandma's famous arroz con gandules, rice and pigeon peas. While eating dessert, Sammy had another surprise for Grandma. 2 tickets to the band's first New York concert and their brand new record, which wasn't even in stores yet. I raced over to the record player, thrilled to be the first New Yorker to hear the latest music. The next day, Grandma and I spent all day shopping for clothes to wear to the show. She even made me get a haircut. The theater was all the way up in the Bronx. We took the subway there, and Grandma was nervous during the whole ride. When we got to the theater, we walked past the long line of people and went right inside because our tickets were special. The theater was bigger than all of the movie theaters I had ever gone to. The band made a special entrance. Suddenly the theater went dark. Tiny lights glittered, and a loud siren filled the air. I heard Grandma gasp, "Ay, Dios míos! Oh my God, she thought something was wrong." The darkened stage seemed to fill with people running back and forth in confusion. Next, everything went dark again, and a loud, steady conga beat began. Boom, ba-doom, boom, ba-doom, ba-doom. When the lights came on, there was a loud boom, and the band began to play El Bombón de Elena, Elena's Candy. Grandma and I were surprised at how different the music sounded live. The musicians made familiar songs sound fresh by adding new musical phrases and words. The last song began. Ishmael said, "This one goes out to Carmen," and he pointed to Grandma as he began to sing her special song. I looked over as she put her hand over her heart, raised the other, closed her eyes, and began to sing along. Ishmael was singing to my grandma. Then I looked around and I realized that everyone in the theater had their hand on their hearts too. After the show, we went backstage. I asked Ishmael how he knew about Grandma's song. He explained that that song was about coming to a new country and having to leave those you love behind. People put their hands over their heart to show that their hearts remain in Puerto Rico, even though they may be far away. Now I understood why Grandma's song was so special to so many people. Over the next days and weeks, Grandma and I put on our own shows imitating Cortijo's band. Grandma wished such a special night had been captured in a recording so that she could listen to it again and again. But even then, I knew that a concert is so special because it leaves you with memories of a magical moment in time. As I got older, I started bringing over my records for Grandma. Brazilian music, jazz, even rap. She loved listening to all of it. Even now, when I'm playing CDs in my studio, I imagine I'm back in Grandma's living room, and she turns to me and says, "You be the DJ today. Siempre me gusta tu selección." As I do my work, Grandma's special song surrounds me. The end. And how do we end each music class? With the goodbye song. Here we go. The music time is over, the music time is over, it's time to say goodbye, it's time to say goodbye, goodbye until the next time, goodbye until the next time, goodbye, 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 goodbye. Well done, everyone, and I'll see you next week. Bye!